Hey, what's up everybody? It's John with Crippled Fox Gaming. I am going to be doing a quick paint 'em up of this 3D printed umbrella yokai whose name escapes me. I put the review of the batch that I got from Tome of Endless Quests on Etsy. There's the lamp one, and then the little Cyclops guy. I got all these primed up, ready to go, and I'm going to do this one real quick today because any paint is a contrast paint if you prime and white and paint fast enough. So I'm going to go with, I use mostly Reaper paints. I've gotten a bunch of them over the years. What I'm going to do is I swiped this picture off of Google, and I kind of like that color scheme. There's a lot of different things going on. It's got some nice contrasts, and I'm just going to do that. So hopefully I can get this to kind of come out in some sort of logical thing. Because what I'm going to do, because what I did with my tongue for my outhouse mimic that I got several weeks ago, I bought another one. I'm going to do a paint 'em up on that. Is I kind of got this, I got a deep ocean, which is a nice, it's an older color, I think. I'm hoping they still make them because a lot of those old colors are hard to find. I think they sometimes will move them and rename them. But I'm just gonna put a coat over this, and while this is drying, I'm gonna do the other stuff on this. And again, since I heard about James Wapple's tinted base coat, and he primes everything when he does that technique, he primes everything in white, and then you go lightest color to darkest color because it gradually fills in everything you're going to want to do on your mini. The highlights will stay on the outside and the raised parts, and then the shadows will kind of automatically fill in on the lower parts. So I'm going to do this. Like I said, I'm probably going to do all this. I might turn this little fan on, so that's, if you hear a little weird buzzing, that's what it's going to be. Or I might just, pause it and do that later. Yeah, I think I'll do that because that's going to get annoying to some people. And so I've got a yellow, I've got a kind of a khaki that I'm going to do for the underneath, the desert khaki I'm going to do for the body of the umbrella guy, which I will find out right now, actually. They are called Kasa Obake. I am not a native speaker, so that's as close as I get to it. I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to go with a little bit of this and just quick. I might need to go darker with this, I think, or a little thicker. And then I'm going to dry brush over this. There is a few bits that aren't as perfect as I thought they were, but there's no, I didn't have to cut any supports off, and quite frankly, these things are weird looking anyway, and they might have little boils or whatever you want to call it on them. So I'm going to go with just kind of get all these quick. If you hear crunching in the background, I've also got a corgi by the name of Yokai that likes to make noise whenever whenever I'm doing stuff. And he's also kind of chews on his toys a lot. Just getting these base colors down, and then I'll probably let them sit a little bit, come back and work on this when everything's kind of dried a little better. But there's, you know what, that's not my favorite color. But I will make it work as of right now, because that's what I started with. And I can always put a wash over it, I think. And then I'm going to go the arms on this, on the picture, were that weird kind of a bluish, bluish grayish kind of. I'm going with an ashen blue. That's that Reaper paint, ashen blue. And I'm going to get this. I'm going to put this on there. I'm going to do the same thing. Actually, what I might do first is I'm going to do the little sandal down there, and then that's just with this random tan paint whose label has worn off over the years. I've also got super glue on the bottom of that. because I pinned it to the base so it wouldn't snap off while I'm painting. So I'm going to do it with a crappy brush, just in case I get super glue on my good, you don't want that on your good Kolinsky Sable brush. And I, sure enough, did. It's still dry. It's still wet under there. Oh, that wasn't smart. Well, I'm glad I ruined this brush and not the other one. So, oh, God almighty. Okay, I get it. I see how you are. Oh, boy. All right. If you do want to do yourself a favor, and if you want to look up weird, cool yokai, there's a website. It's called yokai.com. This guy did a lot of research on Japanese yokai mythology, and he did 3 books that are available. I found them on Amazon. They've got digital versions of them as well. But he does a real deep dive, like, to the history of a lot of these things, and it's really cool. I like, every day's a school day. I like somebody who likes to find out new and weird different things, so I can bore everybody around me at certain points in time. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to do the arms in this kind of a grayish. The arms and the leg, I got a little bit of overspill on that. I'm going to go over that. And the brushes, I really like Rosemary and Company, Kolinsky Sable, Series 33. Jess Rich, who's a painter friend of mine, recommended these at some point in the past, and I've found them to be very, very, very good. They keep a good point, and if they don't, the barrel is usually really good, and it doesn't. I've had a few issues over the years with Kickstarter bundles of paintbrushes that have. I'm just gonna say they weren't the best. I'm not gonna name any companies, but I just say I won't buy from them ever again. There's some interesting Kickstarters, he said, rambling. And what I'll probably do is I'll probably let this sit, and I will do something else, and I will come back to it after they've kind of cured, after all these base coats have cured a little bit. I'm not going to do much wet blending with these. I'm just going to do these, like I said, it's just quick and dirty. This is just for me to keep my chops wet. I might go over this. Let's see, I'm going to get that underside. It's got to be a weird, get a darker color for the underside of this dude. I'm going to go a gray wood to the top. Nope, this is old mud. And I do have some secret weapon paints. It's old mud. It's kind of a weird, kind of a brown with a little bit of some other color that I can't quite, like maybe a lavender in this, I think. Just going to use that in as the little top to his head. And I'm going to leave the eye white for right now because I'm going to let this thing dry a little bit, and then I will be back to kind of either do some washes or do some dry brushing or something on it, maybe. I'll kind of see. This kind of went a little bit different than I thought because I'm trying to keep it in frame. You know what? I think that's a fairly good, because I think I'm going to wash this because this is not a dark enough color that I don't much care for that. I think I'm going to go in there and get a little bit of darker around that mouth, but that tongue's probably pretty dry. But I'm going to let it dry for a little bit, and I will be back in a bit. Well, I think what I'm going to do, I'll let it dry a little bit. Instead of going in and washing that, I'm going to try to line it with a little bit of orange here. See if I can get that get a little darker. I think I'm going to go with a pumpkin orange brown. Get in there. It's most certainly darker than that surrounding, and then I might go over and just dry brush over that, I think, what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure I get everything, because I got this as my spot I need to keep. And I think there's a technique that I've used because I like getting stuff done quick. Whoops. And sometimes you can tell that I've taken. I'll take a makeup brush. These e.l.f. makeup brushes. I think that's what they're called. And just dry brush. Paint on my phone because I can't talk with a paintbrush in my mouth, and dry brush over it with like I forget, it's basically a light colored white, or it's polished bone is the thing, and it's not quite white, but it also lightens things up a little bit, so you can, it's also a good cover up for things if things didn't quite go the way you wanted to and you just want to get things done, which is kind of the way I paint. If I'm not painting for someone else, like I said, I'm painting this for me. I'm just gonna, I'll go over all these little mistakes here. And I am not Bob Ross, so I've got significantly less ASMR techniques. But I think, here, let's do this. These are going to go up, kind of up to a point. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to dry brush over it. Trying to remember where I'm going with a lot of this. Apparently there are also somewhere, there's a bunch of old Japanese movies that have yokai fairly present in prevalent in them, and I've not seen them, but I would very much like to, and I've looked stuff up, try to find them, and all I find is, well, it's not a movie, but it is somebody who'll sit there and show you their deviant art animation of these things, which is not what I was looking for. So I'm going to go, we'll see how this goes. I'm going to go back over this because I'm making a lot of mistakes. But again, doing this for me, not for anybody else. And I'm doing it for you, so you can sit here and watch me bugger this thing 6 ways to Sunday. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a little bit of gray. I think it's a snow shadow. This is kind of a weird, it works perfect for what it says. I've painted bases with this. If it's already a textured base and you've textured it white, if you mix this up with a little bit of water, make it into a nice, either a thin glaze or a wash, it looks like that weird kind of color. Oh, hey, here we go. That you can get when it snows outside and the snow on the ground. So I'm going to go, and I was talking about the tinted base coat earlier. That is not what I'm doing, obviously, because I'm doing it darkest to lightest, but sometimes you got to get all jazz up in this and, take it a different road. Need someone here to hold my arms so I don't get out of frame. And I'll probably, there's a little bit of a problem back here on the back of this leg, but I'm not going to mind because I'm not, you know what, it's something for me to do and for you to watch, so I appreciate you stopping by. And if you like what I'm doing, I'm going to be doing some more of these other yokai the other two that I've got, and then I'm also going to be doing the mimic that the outhouse mimic that is on this channel that I did several probably last month or something like that, because what's funnier than a place of solace like a bathroom just waiting there to eat you when you step inside. And I think it's rather funny, and you can get them. I think it's D&D Nolzur's pre-primed minis or something. It's called a large mimic. And so there's that. The tongue, I've had a change of heart on. I'm going to go with a little bit of this purple. Like I said, I think this was a royal purple or something like that. That is not doing what I wanted it to do. I gotta find out where I put all these paints and what I'm doing with them. So I'm gonna, I think I might add just a little bit. I'll go up in here, not with that brush. I will go talking and painting and talking and painting. You'll do neither very well. Get that up in there. And maybe get a little something going up inside there. Just for a different color that'll kind of stand out from the inside and from the you know what, that's not too bad. I don't mind that. I don't mind that at all. Yeah, that's what you get for experimenting with something you didn't know you wanted to do. Because I do that a lot. I end up thinking, there's a lot of painters who are way better than I am, who will pre-plan all their, where's that circle? Will pre-plan all of their paint schemes and their color schemes, and I will try to do that, and then hey presto, halfway through it just all falls apart, and it's like, you know what, this is a happy accidents again. Dipping back to the king of ASMR, Bob Ross. I kind of like that, actually. I really kind of like that, the way that's turning out. Yeah. The body, I think I'm going to go with I might do a you know what, let's give that a shot. Do that real quick. Okay, I am gonna let that dry a little bit. I'm gonna get some actual color in this thing to maybe try to even out the screw ups that I made on the color, on the trying to shadow that thing. It did not work. I'm gonna go a little side brush on this. I'm going to do the tops afterwards, since I've gotten a little bit of issue with this. Yeah, I'm not digging where this is going, quite frankly. We'll see. Because there's been times when it's like, do yourself a favor and subscribe to Lila Mev, the miniature painting, the miniature witch, the mini witch, I think. She has some amazing tutorials on, so you ruined your mini, what do you do now? Well, where do you want to start? And it's that kind of thing where she's, I met her at Adepticon, and she could not have been more charming and patient and approachable person. She's done miniatures, or like, I wish someone had told me this, or I wish I'd done this when I was, first starting out. And they're just really, really good. She's, I believe, like I said, I can't remember what exactly she said her actual occupation is, but just some nice, helpful advice that everybody could use. And there's also the statement, done, not perfect, which I live by a lot. Because there's times when the more you try to fix something, the worse it gets. And I have learned after a certain point that, maybe I will, take the writer's approach, and I will put this away in a drawer for, however long, and just let it sit there. This is not okay. I think it's just a question. Everybody gets to that point where they just, oh, this is beyond saving, or oh, I hate how this looks, and then 20 minutes later, you're back on board. You're back on the, what, this isn't as bad as I thought. I'll let you know when I hit that point, because I'm still kind of, because I usually paint with this right up tight against my chest, so I get a little bit better. I'm a man of a certain age, and my hands aren't quite as steady as they used to be. But I'm not minding this. I don't like I think I should have gone a little bit lighter on all the on that lining. That's another thing, is learn to sometimes second guessing yourself, not the greatest thing. So you know what? I like how that tongue turned out. I'm going to go over that with a little bit more of, it's a cloud, pale violet. There's a cloud pink I might give a shot with as well, if I can find it in my scads and scads of... Oh, there's a monster maw. Let's see. Oh, I like those. Okay. Pale violet. I'm going to just dry brush over that with an old just pile of paint brushes that I bought from Michael's and at some point in the past, and you know what, they're good for just such an emergency. Get a little dry brush in action going in there. Maybe it needs to be a little brighter. Go with that. And this is that polished bone. Like I said, it's kind of a gray. Ooh, here we go. Yeah, that's a little bit. I like that a little better. So that blue is still hanging in there. You know what? Who's to say what these things, what kind of underlying biology? I would, if you know of someone who has done because I know they've done biology of beholder and the biology of these weird things. That would be kind of a rad thing to follow up on things like this. Well, because they're who knows what they are. There's the biology of a mimic, what those things look like. So that might be, that would be kind of close to what these things are. These are things that have changed into other things from what they originally were. It's not doing what I want. Again, I'm not used to had someone shooting this over my shoulder. I might do, once this is dry, do a blue wash over it, maybe. No, because then it kind of mixes in with what the color of the arms are. So, you know what? I think what I might do is something along these lines and go back over it. Well, that's already there, so. Just do a little bit of a line down the center. because they are very cartoony, which is another thing I like about them, because they're not, you know, so serious a creature as to require some sort of, you know, ultra realistic paint scheme. Yeah, that's getting better. I'm liking that more and more. I'm gonna let that dry. I also, here's what I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try a light Pro Acryl. This company makes these paints are amazing. They're from Monument Hobbies, and I forgot I had some. So what I think I'm gonna do, that's a very bright yellow. I also have a warm flesh that might carry into that. Oh boy. Again, this is not how I'm used to painting things. But you've stuck around this long, and you deserve to see a finished product eventually. What I might do, they have a really nice white that is a bold titanium white. Drop some little shakers in this thing. We'll see. Just that's the tiniest of drops in that thing, and I think we'll just do a little bit of this. I'm sure a wet palette would be better, but I am far too lazy to even attempt to do something that this fun with something that was I used them at one time. Yeah, I think that was a little dark on there, so might go back over the or maybe just keep doing this. Because these are kind of, they're supposed to be kind of discarded, you know, umbrellas and things like that. So they're probably not. I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to do a little vertical dry brush on this, and maybe things will catch where they're supposed to. Oh dear. Someone probably saw that and it's like, oh my God, what's he doing? He's ruining this immediately. You know what? You're probably not wrong. I'm liking that a little better. The eye, I think, is going to be a major thing to do on this thing, because it's very much a focal point. The eye and the tongue are the kind of these are the things you really want people to look at. Yeah, I'm going to go over that a little bit and just let that kind of sink in there. Yeah, it's not too terrible. Not bad. Well, we'll see. I'm going to set that down, let it dry a little bit, and I'll be back. Okay, I think I think I'm going to cheat, because I'm going to do a little wash. I'm going to take some of this Lamia medium, which I think is just it's just a different version of like a matte acrylic medium, which I'm pretty sure, because, you know, why sell something a gallon of something for $6 when you could sell, you know, this little tiny bit of it. I'm going to try this on these arms and see if it will kind of get a little more detail that I wasn't getting. Yeah, that I'm liking that better. Getting a little bit more detail, a little bit more color too, that I wasn't getting with that whatever the heck the color was that I used, that ashen blue. It was a little bit too close to gray, I think. And I'm going to do this, kind of get all up and underneath here and let that kind of sit in there. That seems to be getting a little bit more how I want it to be. Yeah, a lot more. You know what? Nope. That looks terrible. What I am going to do, I think, I got a little bit of this icy violet, which is a little bit of a gray and a little bit of a violet, I think. Maybe put that along those edges of the tongue. Give it a little bit more of a something. There's that little bit of a down the bottom. Oh yeah, I kind of like that. Maybe get that. Let me go over that. Maybe a little bit. Chaos Theory? You better believe I paint with it. Got a lot of... And again, you know, if I had someone sitting here, they could, you know, photograph me over my shoulder, which is kind of how I paint. A little bit better. Like that. Where that's going with that. Amethyst purple. Let's kind of get to see where that's at. As far as that middle goes. This has actually got a fairly good point on it as well. It's not bad. It's not quite dark enough, I think. You know what? I think I might. A little bit of this, a little bit of this. A little bit of that blue that I had initially in this that I kind of glossed over. Nope. Oh, dear Jesus. Yes, sir. That's why you keep brushes around. In case you jerk something up. Okay. Maybe go to your good brush and try to fix things that way. Maybe. Yeah, there we go. There's a little bump there in the sculpt. Hey, let's kind of do that. Let's put some bumps on that tongue just to kind of break up that smooth surface. Maybe. And I think the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try a little bit of everybody's favorite, Agrax Earthshade, and I'm going to go over the actual umbrella with that. Just to kind of... I know there's people out there that are screaming, oh my God, what are you doing? What kind of foolishness is this? It's like, well, it's me wanting to get stuff done. And that, you know, this is kind of a brown... I've seen, I can't remember the guy's name, but he did where you make your own. You're just taking, like I said, like a matte medium, and I think I might have blue in this. A little bit more water in this. And I might have to go back over. It is, but it's looking a little raggedy, which is for sure what it's supposed to be. You know what? I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Yeah, get that around the eye, and then we'll maybe go over that with a little bit of color once it dries and cures and stuff like that. So we'll go with... Yeah, I don't mind that at all. A little bit down here on his foot. Because those toenails are gonna... I'm just gonna leave that primer color because they've kind of Like one of those white claw kind of things. White claw? No. Go with these, and then I'll go over that again with figure out what I want to do with that center eye. What the picture looked like that I had, that I have since gotten rid of. Okay, it's kind of a reddish. I got the blurry. Well, I basically took everything I thought I was going to do and threw it right out the window, which is kind of the thing that I do. Yeah, boy, that is a lot. I should have went with the red, because there's on Yokai.com. It's the Karakasa Kozo. There's a red. A red yokai like this, a red umbrella like this, and then also apparently like the rice paper screens in between in the houses will also do, and discarded sandals will turn into little yokai that things will have. Just everything turns into something, and they all have weird long waggly tongues, which is kind of fun. So I'm gonna go with, I'm gonna get stuck in on that eye. I'm gonna get in this thing. Look at some of these other ones that I've got. There's kind of a gold. You know what? I'm just going to stick with kind of that weird bloodshot red, and this will gradually dry. And I'm going to go over inside this thing, and I'm going to pull it away. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to try to get in there because I can't get in there with my camera going, because it's just not feasible for me to do. So I will do that, and then come back. I'm going to use Carrot Top Red for the iris on this eye, because then we've got a yellow, we've got a purpley, we've got a blue, we've got this red. So you know what? That's a nice batch of color combinations. So get in there and do that, and then I'll paint that pupil black, because why wouldn't you? You know what? If I get, when I pull it away, I will sit there and do maybe the lines in there. Yep, let's get that. Let's do that right now. Actually, I've got, yeah, go with the, it is I think it's the Brown Liner by Reaper, which is a good, it's not quite black, because black, if you look at something that's black, nothing is ever, absolutely completely black. It's just going to be, there's other colors that are infiltrating there. And I'm going to put a little white dot up in that corner as well. I'm going to get a nice claw color. Let's get me a nice ivory. This ivory that I've had for, let's see, my son is 23. I've had it for about 21 years. And I still haven't used it all because, uh-oh, there we go. Get in here and just do just a little standard pale claw. And the toenails look good. There's a little bit of color. I'm going to get in there and even that out a little bit, because there's some, I need to paint the string across the bottom with that. Let's go with just a amber gold. It's kind of a nice ropey kind of color. Well, not today. Okay. Is that? No, this hasn't dried yet. Okay, I'm going to sit back and let this dry a little more, and then we'll be back. And I will. I'll do some touch-ups while I'm out of frame, and then just kind of talk you through what I did. I'll be right back. Okay, I kind of went back and did some highlights on that yellow, And I'm going to do a little bit more dry brushing because I had to hold that close to my body to get it to stay a little bit more steady than I'm used to trying to do this on video. And so I'm going to go back and get one more red and an eyeball. Oh no, it wasn't that. It was the carrot top, or the, yeah, carrot top red, I think. That's the one I was using. Not much. I'm going to try to get in there, get this into a nice point. Get a little bit of veinery back here. Or just kind of give the illusion of it, maybe. Oh, let's get a little water in that. There we go. Flow a little better, maybe. Or maybe I'm just going to mess it up. So you can sit here and then I'll have to come back after I go and, you know, have to go outside and oh, that's not too bad. It's cartoony anyway. That way to can always go in with a little bit of white and kind of clean up the bits that I've, well, that's been completely out of focus. I'm sorry. Good heavens. Again, I'm not used to painting in front of people or talking while I'm doing it either. So I'm going to go with a little bit. Let's try to find that. Back in with that monster maw around the edges of that tongue. I think as, again, just to give that a little bit of highlight, a little bit of maybe a bit of that's a little better. I don't mind that blue line down the middle of that so much. Now that I'm kind of gotten used to it, it gives it a little bit of depth, a little bit of that weird. It's like what's the deal with these things? What's their biological makeup? And who knows? You know, make up something cool. Yeah, there we go. I kind of like that. Just going along those edges and giving it some more freakiness. Because these are strange creatures that I think are more, these I think are more kind of annoying than actually dangerous. I can't remember exactly what the background story was with these guys. Get that a little bit more shiny along this edge. Kind of, yeah. You know what? I don't mind that at all. If I could find, because that blue doesn't look too bad there. The eye, I'm not a big fan of. I think I'm going to get in there with some red, that red, and kind of maybe. Oh, hey, I know. Let's get a little bit of pulling that. I'm going to have to get my 3X cheaters on to go in for this little bit. Kind of get a little bit of... No, that's not... Maybe. What? I need to get that little dot in there just to give it that shiny look. And if you want to get well, these aren't chibi, they're more stylized, but a good channel for chibi is Snickernack Studios. Yeji Kim is a really good. She's got that that stuff down. There's that dot right there. Maybe one over here. Oh no, I was going to go in there and kind of clean up some of this. There we go. You know, I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all. Let's just go in with some straight up white in some of this. Well, this is a linen white, actually, is what this is. And I'm going to go... Don't lick brushes, kids. And this is really smooth up at the top of this, so I'm kind of trying to draw it in there, and my freehand skills are lacking, I'll just say. You know what? The more this gets kind of disheveled looking, the more I kind of like it, because it's just kind of a little bit of white, that little glistening kind of along that tongue as well. Not bad. Probably a little bit on here as well. Because it's probably a shiny, weird, textured kind of thing. I keep hitting that thing with my hand, and I just wait for that thing to just snap off and me not to have a good time with it. You know what? I don't mind that. I think it's kind of groovy. I'm going to do a quick mud base, because I think he's out slopping through the fields chasing after somebody who at some point had not been good to him. Old mud. Boom. Here's where you go. Need old mud? Got old mud. I'll do that. I'll probably put a black ring around this thing. You know what else I might throw in there is a little bit of green, a little bit of gray. I keep losing my water. I keep using it and... Oh, there's a dog murphing in the background if you didn't hear him. I was getting real ambitious, you know. Get a little bit of... Yep, I don't mind that. I think it's kind of fun. Yep. And quite frankly, who's to argue with me about any of this? I kind of like it. You've sat through it this long, or you've scrolled ahead, which is fine. And then I'm going to get a little bit of... Oh, heck. Well, you know what? Let's just do this. Since it started to come out anyway. Because I'm not going to make... I was thinking about making a diorama out of this, and I think it's just kind of fun to have wherever he sits. Put him in a little globe or something like that with the other ones and make a... See if I can come up with some sort of scenic base. If I do, I will let you know. Thanks for watching for this long. Again, you know, if you like what you're seeing, and if you've checked out some of the other videos I've done on here, you might like it, and you might subscribe to it. I kind of like it. You know what? For a silly little thing that is just going to sit on top of my computer monitor, I don't mind it. Thanks for stopping, you guys. And keep it crispy, everybody. Later.